Hey, this is Music Marbles with Achickwitbeatz Breezy Gipson on GranderRadio.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. You know, we got a great show lined up. Why don't you let the people know how you're feeling, Breezy?
Oh, man, I'm feeling really, really good today. Today is the day, the best day of the week. We're here once again, and I'm upbeat, happy, and just happy as a lark. So, hey, let's set it off.
All right, let's do that. So, you know, we got a little bit of tunes for you coming up. And then, after that, I got the chance to sit down with Nate OG Detroit earlier this week. So, make sure you keep it locked.
Yes, sir. You know, and Nate, he's one of those guys. So, you know, be sure to just enjoy. Just sit back and enjoy what Nate's got to share with you.
Hey, it's the Chick with Beats here with the one, the only Nate OG Detroit. How you doing?
Real good, sis. Appreciate you having me on.
Good. Yeah, we're glad to have you. For those out there listening, Nate OG Detroit is a producer by way of Detroit, of course, right?
Right.
All right, that's what's up. So why don't you let our listeners know, how long have you been into production?
Yeah, so this will be my 13th year as of December 7th, which is actually the exact day that I got my Akai MPC 1000 drum machine sampler in the mail.
Remember the day to a T. That's awesome, especially a beauty like that one.
Yep.
Yeah, what initially sparked your love for production?
You know, it actually started with my father. He was a bass guitar player, and we had threw him like a surprise birthday party, and we invited my dad's side of the fam. This was when I was in Detroit. We invited my dad's side of the fam, which is where I live in Holland, to come, and him and my uncle Emery were playing the guitars, so they was in a band together. You know, way before I was even thought of. So, you know, seeing witnessing the power of music and how it could change person's mood and how, you know, energy in the room and everything, that's when I initially became interested in music.
That's what's up. Who are some of your musical influences?
Well, of course, my dad, lots of Dilla, lots of Black Milk, Hollow Brown, 14KT, Ninth Wonder, DJ Premier, Quincy Jones, Michael Jackson, Kanye West, old college dropout Kanye West, of course. I don't know what he's on now, but that'd be about it in a nutshell.
Yeah, I see on the Kanye there. That's been a familiar sentiment amongst many people. But so speaking of Kanye, you know, we know about the whole supposed presidential bid and whatever, but, you know, being an artist during these times, how do you stay motivated to continue to produce music?
You know, really it's just I guess like new inspiration from about 6 weeks ago. I had to bury two of my aunts, like 6 weeks apart from each other. You know what I mean? And that's been like motivating me to keep going, because that's what they want me to do. You know, they wouldn't want me to like sit around and just wait for my gifts or my talent. You know, just bring everything to a standstill, because I've come so far. You know, and you know, life is tomorrow's not promised. So every day I gotta do some kind of music related. If it ain't you know, digging through records, making drum kits, or you know, updating SoundCloud, Bandcamp, and YouTube. You know, it's all passion based for me. It's real personal. You know what I mean? So
good. You know, one of the things that's been hard for a lot of creatives is not being able to do live shows as frequently as we were able to. You know, as far as being a producer, you know, getting out there, kind of navigating, shaking hands, meeting people, trying to see, you know, if your music styles gel and whatnot. How has that been affecting you personally?
It's affected me a little bit, because I was just really getting into doing live beat sets back home. So I'm looking forward to, I'm not sure how this pandemic is going to pan out. If this is just going to be the quote unquote new normal for now, you know, because it looks like there's no cure in sight, but they're apparently working on it. But, you know, I'm hoping to get back to doing live beat sets. As far as working with artists, it's pretty easy, because I still have email. You know, I can still send beats out, you know, do it that way. I just can't like take a trip to Detroit right now, because it's one of the hot spots as far as, you know, the COVID. So it kind of limits my mobility as far as getting up there to work with artists and cast out these CDs and new people and stuff. So, but I do have a manager named LaPiece, who actually, he's a Detroit legend. He actually battled Eminem, and that's what led Eminem to go to LA for that Rap Olympics battle where he got discovered by Dre around that time. So he's tied to everybody in Detroit that I want to work for, like Fat Cat, everybody. So, you know what I mean? So I just made that move last year. As far as I don't live in Detroit no more, I need a representative there. So he's been doing get me a lot of production work and stuff like that.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Let's talk a little bit about Detroit and the music scene there. There's been so much talent that's been nestled there forever, and then that generation of talent breeded new generations of talent and so forth. What's one of the things that inspires you about being from Detroit? Like, how does that influence your sound specifically?
A lot of it's like energy, like bass. You know what I mean? It got Detroit and everything that you see on the news. It's a struggle sometimes, as far as finances, but it's not like the residents' fault as far as how the city's been run down. It's really the people who's on like the city council, who's in charge of where the money diverts to, for the infrastructure. You know what I mean? So a lot of time I gain my inspiration just from being around, like creative individuals. When I go to Detroit, I'm usually at a hotel. I don't drive, so I always catch the bus, but they always come through. All the artists always come through to hang out and listen to beats and stuff like that, or, pick up beat CDs and stuff like that. So, just the Detroit life inspired me, because we're still like chasing that Motown, that new Motown era is what I want to call it. They said it couldn't be done again, but I'm a firm believer that it can be done again. And if we get that shot and cast a big enough light, we'll run it just equally as long as the Motown era lasted, from the 50s to the time they moved out of Detroit. So that's what I'm chasing, that same, because we're all like Motown's grandkids. That's my imagine a lot of people always first themselves there, so I start looking at it like that too.
Right. No, that's an excellent point. And just with the importance of soul music as far as hip hop goes, like, it still just lives on. It's just another way to consume it. And that's a beautiful thing. So, what's next in the pipeline for you? I mean, pre-pandemic if possible, but even if this does last a little bit longer, we gotta chill before actually going to the shows. What's next on the agenda for Nate OG Detroit?
I just recently, actually last month on my birthday, July 3rd, I actually dropped my first lo-fi album. And it's on Google Play, Amazon, iTunes, Apple Music, and I submitted to Pandora and it got approved. And it's also on Spotify. It's called Filth Farm Filth LPV1, like Volume 1. And the title came from that skit about Eddie Murphy talking to Bill Cosby, and he's telling him about how he cusses in the shows. So that's where I got the title for it from. And the inspiration behind that, really, and the inspiration behind that came from mainly Dilla's Rough Draft EP. And then, I got to listening to like Stolen Drums and Raji and DiBiase and a couple other cats I say Twami, to name a few, and Lean Lizzy was another dope one out of Atlanta. So it's just like my take on that, my signature style of doing it, just trying something different.
That's what's up. Adding your flavor is the main thing to make hip hop what it is. So, you keep plugging away and doing what you're doing. You had mentioned the platforms that your album is available. Would you also like to shout out, let the listeners know what social medias they can follow you on?
Yeah, okay. Instagram and Twitter is at Nate OG Detroit. Like all one word. If you just type that in, I should be the only one to pop up. YouTube is youtube.com/N, like for short for, it's like the first initial of my first name for Nate, and then my last name, which is Oglesby, OGLESBY, and the number 1. And on there you'll find I upload a lot of finished beats on there and beat making videos and stuff like that. Because like I said in my Beats Brand of Life producer interview last year, that with the invention of like Instagram and Facebook Live and all that, people really have been sleeping on YouTube. You know what I mean? And they cast a wider net because you only do so much with like a 1-minute vid. You know what I mean?
Right.
And of course they got the IG Live, they got the IG TV, which I'm just recently starting to use. But yeah, it's just like there's avenues you could do to like expand your fan base and reach out to people. That people are just taking for granted because of it might not be the newest hottest thing, but.
Absolutely. If there's still potential for you to reach people who will enjoy your music, you got to take advantage of it. Definitely.
Yep.
So do you have
Exactly.
any advice for any music artists out there right now that are, just kind of looking for some positivity and how to get through this and still be creative?
Yeah. Two things. One is originality. We all are created with something in us. I call it like a light, or like I believe every person has some kind of artistic gift. And it might take us a while to discover. Like, I was 28 before I found mine in music. So, I believe in, this, don't buy off the next man or copy, carbon copy the next person. Because once that trend fades, you're going to fade along with it. And that applies to anything in the entertainment business. It's a lot of copycat stuff going on. One person gets the style and make it hot, and 10 million people going to follow that. The other thing would be, patience. Learn to understand that you will have to pay dues when you get involved with the music business. You know what I mean? But also be up on your business aspect of the music too, as far as, the laws and, how you get paid and, things of that nature.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a huge thing is, making sure that you stay educated so that way you don't get taken advantage of. We've discussed this on Music Marvels before, but yeah, the more people in the industry can confuse artists, the easier it is to separate them from their money. So, it's important to stay educated. You're 100% correct.
Oh, there was one last thing I was going to say. Also, whatever you do, don't get cocky, arrogant, and start feeling yourself. Because as soon as you start that, that's when your 15 minutes start winding down. Your 15 minutes of fame. You know what I mean? The key is to be humble. You know what I mean? Humbleness, I got a tag that's like, hashtag, it's like humble as the new dope. You know what I mean? And learn the art of networking and doing the proper relationships and, in the business, and you'll go, you know what I mean? So.
Right, 100%. Most of everything that you mentioned can be applied to producers as well, but is there anything that you would like to share with aspiring producers that are maybe just out getting their footing in the game and, need some help to figure out how to find their own sound?
Actually, you can take notes of some of your favorite producers or musicians, or just artists in general, music artists in general. If there's something, that you like to listen to, study their sound. Like, how does he get his bass lines like that? Or, how does he arrange his beats to, make it seem so seamless when it's, different change-ups and things like that. The knowledge is out there, and when I got started, YouTube was really getting started with the beat making videos and stuff. There wasn't a lot of tutorials out at that time, but, also, you don't have to have the latest. Every time a drum machine or a VFT or anything, a DAW period drops, you don't have to run and copy it. Figure out what works for you. If you got Fruity Loops, and you learn like it's the back of your hand. It's okay to learn other things so you can be more versatile. But first master whatever you're using and find what fits, for the type of music you want to make.
Right. That's awesome advice. Very awesome advice. It's kind of funny too, anytime you might be in different forums or platforms and you get to see people arguing about, what software you should be using, what hardware you should be using. And
yeah, they running that on Facebook all the time. I'd be like, man, just be quiet. I'd be like, man, y'all I was running this like a religious cult or something. Like, y'all trying to gain converts. I'm like,
Absolutely. Yeah, that's always a fun thread to watch unfold usually.
Yeah.
But, so I guess before we wrap this up, just want to give you a chance to shout out anybody that you need to and give information to the listeners.
All right. For all my beat tapes, most of my beat tapes, aside from the lo-fi tape that's available for streaming, you can find most of my work at nateogdetroit.bandcamp.com. Also, most of my beats are actually uploaded to SoundCloud.com /Nate-OG-Detroit. Probably got about 2,000 beats on there. Also got a shout out my Uncle Tony Smith of the J. Dilla James DeWitt Yancey Foundation. He's been a big help and, giving me jewels on the business, stuff like that. Shout out to my boy Troy Davis, aka the Davis Way. He's been schooling me on the business side of things for the last couple of years. Shout out to DJ Butter, DJ Dez, Merch Music, See, don't miss somebody. Latif, Low Lewis, Zoe, Beach, the homie Creamer Beat, the homie Drugs Beat. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just want to shout out my city and, and just continue to make y'all proud and bring back good music, good quality music.
Well, that's awesome. Well, we definitely appreciate having you on the Achickwitbeatz with Breezy Gipson Music Marvel Show on GranderRadio.com. So make sure that you check it out, stay locked in, and we thank you for being on our show.
Yeah, thank you for having me too.
All right, and we are back. It was just a wonderful conversation that I was able to have with Nate OG Detroit. We covered some really good topics, and so, you make sure that you check him out on all the channels that he dropped for you. Make sure you give him a follow. But I felt like he was dropping some gems about, what's been prominent in Michigan history as far as, the artists and talent that's come from Detroit. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh yes. Today is the day. This is the year. Even though we're just really kind of bogged down with what's going on with the health situation, but we still got to keep rolling.
Right.
People got to keep rolling. We can't just fold in the chair and throw away the time. So hey, we might as well be upbeat and just get everything done we can possibly try to get done.
Indeed. So it's always good, if you're having a moment to maybe just kind of regroup, but never, ever give up. Keep the clock rolling.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And, if I may, I'm just going to take out a couple of moments here to give out a little IG shout-out list with a few folks from around the globe who, we're affiliated with and linked up with. And I'm going to start out by the one and only Miss Ruiva Lena. Okay? Ruiva Lena. Now, she's a singer, a dancer. Oh, my gosh, doing all kinds of great dancing and such. And she's located in Russia. Okay, so
wow.
We love you. Okay, and we linked up on LinkedIn, on IG. So coming back to Atlanta, Georgia, It's a Real Boss C. It's a Real Boss C. And so she's a young businesswoman doing her thing, and we're gonna link up with her from time to time. Stephanie Rowland down in Miami, the Miami, Florida area, and so she's the impact lady. Things going on. Trucker is a female truck driver, lady truck driver. She's rolling around the country making things happen. And so, that goes on and on. These are just a few of the folks that we linked up with. DeVille Enterprises Inc., as well as Chrome's Elite. And so, there's a lot of folks out there, and that's really kind of a short list, but we want to reach out to those folks to say thank you for linking up with us, and they're all around the globe.
Absolutely. We appreciate the love and the support. So shout out to you, Breezy. You've been doing so well with the IG shout outs and, just staying connected with the people, or being, as you like to say, in the mix.
That's right. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention the one and only Salah Anis, okay? And now he's a well-known, his name precedes him, DJ extraordinaire, music man, been making things happen in Atlanta and around the globe for years and years. And so giving him a specific shout out because of all the positivity that he brings. And so we want to follow this young man on IG, Salah Anas, and we're going to make some more announcements a little later on.
All right. So we got a little bit more music coming up for you, and we'll be right back after that. All right. Once again, we thank you for tuning in to Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson on GranderRadio.com. The other day, we were able to share some information as far as what the music streaming payouts are on average for artists per stream. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that a lot of times these numbers are shared kind of, as a set standard, but there are a lot of different things that can factor in to change it. As far as, Spotify gives you one rate if somebody's listening on the free tier, and they give you a little bit more if you've got listeners that actually pay for the subscription, just kind of little nuances like that. But on average, in general, music artists receive 0.00437 cents per stream. So the deal with that, and just to make sure, this is fractions of a penny per stream. And so Daniel E.K., the CEO of Spotify, recently said during an interview that times have changed and that music artists can't get by with just releasing an album every couple of years or that, but in order to receive more money from streaming, his suggestion was, instead of saying, hey, maybe we should increase what we pay out, was just make more music. So what do you have to say about that?
Okay, well, I started to interrupt you a while back, that figure, that percentage that you gave out. Okay, let's hit them with that figure one more again, okay, so they can actually have that sink in. Now, what kind of percentage of a penny is that?
All right, let's do it. $0.00437. So even if you round that up, guess what? That's still not a penny.
Right. Matter of fact,
stream.
Per stream. That's ridicule. Okay, and that's gonna break a lot of the hearts of a lot of folks right there. When they actually realize that. So, got to keep the grind going in more ways than one, and to not just rely on that. And that was some really good advice that you gave along with that. That's deep territory right there.
It really is. There's been people that have been trying to do their best to get these companies to pay more money. I mean, don't get me wrong, you do have Tidal and Napster, which pay a bit more per stream, which is, at least closer to fair. They recognize that you at least deserve, a penny by the time you round it up. But, the fact that he could just make that recommendation, so they're supposed to take the little amount of money that they pay them and I guess pay more for studio time more frequently just to be able to get more money from it. A lot of people were upset by it, so it's been a lot of uproar on social media over the past weekend and week, but it's just something to be aware of. So you hear that, okay, you only get pennies on the dollar, but in some cases it's not even actual pennies.
Bad deal, and so then that's going to affect, or probably already is affecting, the venues for performances, and so, they're going to charge the artists more, in the various deals that they have when an artist, or the artist is just going to come out on the shorter end of the stick. Now, the artist is the one that's out there rehearsing, writing, into the songwriting and so on and so forth, actual recording. And it seems like since they're the ones in the spotlight, they're coming out even more and more, less in the whole overall picture. I mean, is that right?
Yes. That is the case, and once again, that's one of those things about not being transparent with the things that are happening in the industry is, so these figures have been out there, but a little more challenging for artists to understand and actually kind of see point blank exactly how much they're getting. So with the more transparency that's there, the more educated people are, and the more they start demanding, hey, we deserve more than what you've been giving us. And the really sad thing about with some of these companies as well, I know Spotify being one of them, the majors basically get more of that pot And so when independent artists don't have the right information filed, like they don't necessarily have that who wrote the song actually listed, and don't take all the steps to make sure that they get their royalties, even those fractions of a penny that they earn can actually end up getting distributed between major music artists. So it's another reason why it's really important to make sure you cross your T's and you dot your I's, so that way, you know, any work that you do have out there, you should be getting the money from that.
Yeah. And just yesterday, you know, I saw a photo of an artist. I'm not even going to talk about what genre or anything like that, but the photo showed the artist in front of an ATM machine with a buddy. Okay, and they actually were withdrawing stacks and stacks of green. And I wondered, okay, well, when I saw that, okay, well, why? This just doesn't seem right. Why be in front of an ATM withdrawing stacks and stacks of green to show folks, you know, well, this is the green that you've got, when, hey, the topic that we're talking about right now is the streaming fees are even less and less. So, you know, no disrespect to anybody, but, you know, that one requires a lot of forethought and afterthought. Would you agree?
Agreed. 100% agree, because, you know, the more that they can create that illusion, that also convinces a lot of younger artists coming up that they need that record deal, so that way they can get that kind of money. Because the general train of thought is, you know, the record labels put the money behind you. They're the ones that help you get all those people that will be streaming and putting money in your pocket. But even though that is the case, they do really help a lot with marketing. The more they help you, the more their hands are going to be in your pocket.
Correct. And so, you know, the large take it and the small walk it away with little. One more time. But, you know, we still got to remain positive and seek other ways, other outlets to recoup that type of income that, you know, as an artist that you would want to have, and not just be at the mercy of others, especially since you're the one in the spotlight.
100% agreed. All right, we're going to dip into a little bit more music, and then we'll be back after that. Thanks for rocking with us. Keep it locked.
hey, we want to give some accolades to Grander Radio, okay, because they're doing a whole lot of great things for a lot of great artists. And, up and coming, already been here, but even making a boom. And so they're being picked up all across the globe more and more every day. So shouts out to Grander Radio. Thanks for allowing us to be on this platform. And guess what? The best is yet to come, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, honored to call Grander Radio our home.
Right. And Grander starting out with GR. So go ahead and tell them what the GR represents.
Yeah, big shout out to Grand Rapids, Michigan. It's another hotbed for talent. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's talent all over Michigan, but Grand Rapids sure does have a lot of it.
Okay, the GR for Grander Radio. So, keep it flow. And speaking of music, since we got our feet in it, here's another feature, a prime feature from Achickwitbeatz.
showed a whole lot of love to Michigan earlier. But just in case the listeners don't know, Breezy Gipson is from Hotlanta, as it's best known as. So can you give us a little taste on what the music culture is like down there?
Oh man, it's banging. It's banging from all zones, all directions, and everybody's getting a slice of the pie. Whether it's coming out of the studios or the liveness, or even with the cut downs, there's still bits of live music coming out. But what's on my brain right now is the fact that some of the major league sports teams, they're actually acquiring their own little live drum groups, and I mean there are these teams that Atlanta Braves, Atlanta Falcons, and they're allowing young folks to come in with drums, have a Falcon uniform or a Falcon jersey on, or Atlanta Braves jersey, and have 6 or 7, 8 drummers from a marching band come out. When they come out with their Atlanta Braves uniform on and their shorts and sneakers, and they got these drum rhythms going on, everybody's attention is just caught by that. There's a lot of positivity, and so now I'm starting to see that around the country with other sports teams, major sports teams doing the same thing, and that culture of high school music that blends into the college bands, the college marching bands, and it's blending into the major sports teams now.
That's amazing. See, Atlanta's blazed trails so many times. So, shout out to your city. And, matter of fact, we just had the anniversary of the infamous The South Got Something to Say from the Source Awards, the notorious one. And, that statement just held so much weight and meant so much. And just to kind of see the way that things shifted and how we began to see even more of the culture incorporated on a massive level. I mean, just a beautiful thing.
Oh yeah. And with the flow from the GR, the Grander radio, we're actually gonna have the ability to reach out in the ATL, and there's some folks here that have a little bit of something to say. And so don't let that surprise you when a voice pops up here or there that contributes into the music scene on a continuous basis. And we're going to have some of those voices and faces right here on Grander Radio. And I think that's a good thing.
Yes, sir. Absolutely it is. And so, that's about our time for this particular session. You make sure that you stick with us Saturdays, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on granderradio.com. And just as Breezy said, we hear different voices from time to time, so, be on the lookout for more artists that we'll be highlighting on the show, because you know what? If you have good music and you pour your heart into it, we support you, and we'll do everything that we can to utilize our platform to help you expand yours.
10,000%.
All right. Well, till next week, you guys have a great weekend. Keep it locked on this station. There's more goodness coming.